Hi, thanks so much for coming down today. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Well, so the reason I asked you to come down today is because I'm having a little bit of an issue with Jimmy and his cell phone usage. Other than the cell phone, he's been just an absolute joy to work with. Uh, if that is the only issue I'm having with a student, that is a very good thing. Um, Late work or verbal disruptions or tardiness, those are non-issues with him. Really, the only major issue I'm having with him is his cell phone usage. Were you aware that I had a conference with him yesterday about it?
No.
Okay. Well, I did call him in on lunch yesterday, which he was very good about. He came right in. And I informed him that in the last 2 weeks of school, so just in the last 10 days, I've had to ask him to put his phone away 16 times, which is just, it's not acceptable in my class. Cell phones are a big thing for me. I understand that they're not viewed the same way by all teachers, but in this classroom, we do have a zero tolerance policy for cell phone usage. You can see up on just above the whiteboard over there, we've got a list of classroom rules, one of which is that cell phones must be put away during class time. And he did sign his name to that, as did all the other students in the class. So he was aware from the first week of school that we would not be using cell phones in this classroom, and that goes for me too. So I just wanted to get a sense from you if there is some issue going on outside of class where he needs to be in constant communication with you, because obviously if there is something like that going on, then we can make accommodations for him to be able to use his phone on a frequent basis. So is there something like that going on between you guys?
No, he's a kid. He just likes a cell phone.
Right. And that's totally understandable. It's, nowadays the cell phone is just an extension of their arm. So it's really, I understand how tough it can be for a kid to put his phone away. So I just wanted to see if maybe we could work out some strategies to limit his cell phone usage in class. Would you be open to something like that?
Sure, if you could figure out how to make him clean his room, that'd be great too.
I wish I could. Believe me, I've got kids of my own, and if they would clean their rooms, that would be the greatest thing in the world. So the idea that I had would be that when he comes into class, I'm going to kind of institute for him, and I'll absolutely talk to him about this, and if you prefer, I can do another conference like this with him included, or I can just talk to him one-on-one, where for at least the next week, he'll be on some kind of a probation period where there's a zero tolerance policy, where if I see him with his phone in class, I will take his phone and I will put it in my desk, and he will not have his phone for the rest of that class. Obviously, he'll get it back at the end of class. Is that something that sounds reasonable to you? Obviously, I imagine you're the one paying the phone bill, so it's, I would want you to agree to this. Does that sound good to you?
Is there anything other than you taking his cell phone? If he forgets it or it gets broken or something, heaven forbid, we don't need that kind of issue.
Right, absolutely. At this point, I really think that would probably be the best option, because our policy already is that he needs to have his cell phone put away, and he doesn't really follow that policy. Like I said, 16 times over the last 2 weeks, I've had to ask him to put his phone away, and he's good about it. He'll put it away. The problem is the second I turn my back, the phone comes right back out. So that will be something where I will have the phone in my desk. I can even, if this works, I could, take a marker and I could write something up on the board, just as a visual reminder to me that I have his phone and I need to give him his phone back at the end of class. Does that sound reasonable?
It's more reasonable, but if we get into an issue, we're gonna have to figure something else out.
Right. Yeah. It's. I can understand that. And so he would get his phone back at the end of class. He'd come back the next day, and the next day, if I have to ask him to put his phone away again, at that point, I would take his phone away and I would give it to the ladies in the office, and they would hold on to his phone for the rest of the day. Is that something that you could agree to?
Will he be able to go get it back?
Yes, absolutely. I will set up something with them, and I will include the principal with this. He'll be aware of it. The ladies at the front desk will be aware of it. That as soon as that final bell rings, he can go get his phone back, no questions asked.
And if I have to get a hold of him during that time,
then you would obviously just call the school. They will forward you to the classroom. I'll know that you need to get a hold of him, and then he can go. He can either talk to you on the in-class phone, or you can go to the or he can go to the office and get his phone and call you.
okay.
Is that something that works with you?
Yeah, and we'll try to have a discussion at home. He needs to chill.
And again, he's awesome. That is really the only problem I'm having with him. So I really do appreciate you coming down today to talk to me. I know that, parents, that you guys have jobs. This isn't what you're doing all day. So really appreciate you coming down today, and I really appreciate you working with me on this.
No problem.